My presentation is going to look at ISPs and the security vulnerabilities that they don't address in your home network when you use their equipment and services. So how do ISPs put your network at risk? Typically, when you get service from an ISP, they either provide a gateway free of charge with that service or you rent it from them. When they ship those gateways to your home, they have the default passwords from the manufacturer in them, leaving them vulnerable. They don't even recommend that you change it, and it's not part of their setup. So it's very easy in order to get that information and be able to hack into that network. Just to give you an idea how easy it is to hack into the gateway, once you're on the network, you can see in the black box above, if you are able to put in the command line of the computer, config sys or IP config, you'll be able to see the black box come up and it'll give you the default gateway, which in this case it's 10.10.108.1. If you put that in the browser, any browser, it'll take you to the administrative console login page, which asks for your user ID and password. If you look up on the internet and just search by the model number of the gateway that you have, it gives you the username and password defaults. So it's really simple to get that information. You put that in and then you have access to their gateway, and you can do all kinds of things in order to cause problems and be able to hijack the network if you wanted. Once in the admin console, you can have these types of exploits. You can have a brute force attack. People are guessing the passwords and things within the administrative console and all the other types of passwords that you have on your systems. They can have a man-in-the-middle attack where they're intercepting and manipulating data with ISP sniffers such as Wireshark. They can do botnet recruitment where they take your system and they use it to do cyber attacks on larger scale, like DDoS or denial of service attacks on larger companies. They'll use your network for that. They could do lateral movement where they're able to move and pivot between the other devices and computers on your network if there's certain ports open in other areas that they can find for vulnerabilities in your network. They can do firmware exploitation, leveraging unpatched vulnerabilities for firmware, because firmware is something that updates security, and if you don't update your firmware, there's exploits and there's security issues with that. And they can do credential theft by stealing your password and sensitive information from the traffic that they could sniff with the packet sniffer. How prevalent is this problem? There was a Broadband Genie 2024 survey that was put out, and 86% of the people say that they never changed the router's administrative password. And there's these other statistics for things that they've never done either, or updated their firmware, or done other types of maintenance on their routers. So it's evident that it's a big problem and it exists out there in the market. So the essential steps you need to take in order to ensure that you have good router security is you need to change the default password in the gateway immediately. Do that before anything else. You need to put in the WPA or WP3 encryption. You need to regularly update the firmware and make sure that you monitor network traffic for suspicious activity, review your current and prior hosts and the routing table and remove any specific hosts, and then turn off your default services and configuration like universal plug and play and remote device management. That will ensure that you have good router security. What inspired this presentation was back in 2010 when I was able to get into the admin console of the coffee shop. I was curious, doing some ethical hacking. I let the barista know, and they thanked me the next day and told me that they processed their credit card transactions with their customers through the same network. I was offered coffee for a month for helping. The end.